You muted yourself again. I don't know how you keep
Okay.
doing that.
Stuff, technology's funky,
Hey,
Kev.
to the
All right,
people who are just
ladies and
tuning in,
gentlemen.
oh, sorry, to the people who are just
Wait,
tuning in,
I'm doing the intro. Let me do the intro.
yeah,
Here we go. We got potentially the last Big 12 matchup of the season before we get into the Big 12 championship, and we got number 11 BYU. Them boys are coming into Cincinnati in the Nippert Stadium this Saturday at 8 p.m. We got a night game, or is that on Friday and I'm wrong?
Saturday, baby,
It's a
unless I
Saturday.
was wrong.
It's a Saturday game. All right. Yeah, it's going to be in Cincinnati, Ohio. Weather 49 degrees. BYU coming off a hot victory where they cooled themselves down against TCU. We also got Cincinnati upset loss last week against Arizona. Man, that one was tough to watch. Kev, what do you got on this one?
Since it sounds like you just checked the weather, is it still supposed to rain for this game? You can look into that. This game,
I
like,
only got
yes,
clouds.
Cincinnati. Okay, so that is nice. Little spoiler alert, I did pick the under because it was supposed to rain, but neither here nor there. The thing about this game, Cincinnati did have it was a tough one to drop to Arizona because they would control their own destiny a lot more right now had they not lost. But say they pick up this win, okay? Now there's only one team in the Big 12 ahead of them win-loss wise. That's Texas Tech, 7-1. The rest of the Big 12 is a slew of two-loss teams, one of which would be BYU. So obviously, Cincinnati would win the head-to-head there. You have Utah, you have Houston, and you have Arizona State. They would need Utah to lose as well.
Yep.
I think Houston might have more. No, I just know they would need Utah to lose because Cincinnati did lose to Utah earlier a few weeks ago, Halloween weekend. So just for those who might see this, and also I believe Cincinnati is no longer ranked 25 after I put these
Nope.
slides together Monday night.
Ah,
Um,
shit.
so,
Forgot.
but hey, Bearcats 25 in my heart, if I'm being honest, because you guys do have a chance to.
Jason Kelsey's alma mater.
Yeah. Yeah, my wife loves Taylor Swift, so loves Travis, and by default loves Cincinnati. Also my cousin goes to Cincinnati, so shout out Zoe.
Beautiful city. Beautiful city.
I've
I
never
love it.
been. I want this. I think this next. Actually, dang, I think this year was her senior year, so this was probably my last chance to go to a Cincinnati game.
Favorite Ohio city. Favorite Ohio
Favorite
city.
Ohio City? Yeah, I've actually never been to Ohio, but we'll get back to the actual stats here. I do think I had oh yeah, my note about this was that neither team, especially not since like they have no stats that jump out the page as particularly bad or particularly good. Cincinnati gives
Yep.
up they give up 422 yards a game on offense. That's 109th worst in the country, but they've played some high caliber offenses, so that explains it. That they're not particularly great against the run, which is what BYU is going to have to do. I think the moment was too big for them against Texas Tech, but still
Yep.
watching that Texas Tech game, BYU's defense was incredibly game. They held Texas Tech to 5 field goals in either the red zone or close enough. So they stood strong. A goal line stand at the end of the first half. Texas Tech got a touchdown towards the end of the first quarter, but it was only because BYU muffed a punt, set Texas Tech up at about the 20-yard line. If it weren't for those mental mistakes and BYU's defense still played as well as they did, that game against Texas Tech is a lot closer. So I think that defense needs to just keep doing what they're doing. They do have a challenging, talented offense on their hands. I guess lining up against from them, but it's going to be on BYU's offense to figure things out. It's going to be on Bear to get things squared away. Kind of like Haynes King needs to go slap his offensive lineman on the butt in the face. Like I think Bear needs to maybe slap himself a little bit, but it's going to be BYU's game to lose on offense, and I'll
Yep.
let you go.
No, Kev, the only thing that I really have is a couple of notes about Cincinnati versus Arizona, and what I think ultimately led to their loss is it really just boiled down to one thing and one thing only, and that was the pass coverage that Cincinnati had against Arizona. Just could not get anything going. If you do love rushing, this was your game. With in the first 2.5 minutes, there was two 30+ yard rushes to get scoring plays immediately. It was pretty cool to watch. Run defense was also non-existent on both sides to begin. Cincinnati and Arizona both took advantage of that, and that's why it was just such a rushing game. But as both of the offenses, both of the offenses kind of started to adapt to the game, the one thing that I saw was Cincinnati was not adjusting their zone coverage to work better against Arizona, and they were just getting beat on plays. They just could not get the right guys lined up against the right guys on the right side of the ball. It was you could see them just sort of giving up as the game was going on. I already mentioned the note about Jason Kelsey, which is one of the better, better stats about this game. But transitive property time, real quick. BYU beat Iowa State 41-27. Cincinnati beat Iowa State 38-30. Right there. BYU is better by 6 points. BYU beat Utah 24-21. Cincinnati lost to Utah 45-14. That makes BYU 34 points better than Cincinnati in that one to make BYU better by Cincinnati by a grand total of 40 points. All right. Looking at some guy on YouTube who was a BYU fan. He claimed that Bear Brockmeyer still has a shot to be a Heisman candidate, and he should be being talked about with Julian Sain and Fernando Mendoza. Idiot. That's all I can say about that. These people have the blinders on, and all the stats he was noting were wrong. I would tag the guy, but we already have enough enemies on the internet. One of the first videos I had, mostly on Reddit pages, Kev.
Yeah.
The first guy that I did see on YouTube talking about it, his grand take was he has a hunch that whoever holds the opposing team out of the red zone will win.
Man, that's just as good as my "you gotta score points to win" analysis
Right.
there. Okay.
Yeah. Cincinnati does have a bend don't break team right now. They kind of just go down the field and like they will hold you to force a field goal. And I think that's going to be what happens a lot in this game. So, what are some of my actual thoughts? Cincinnati just ain't clutch like BYU and Texas Tech this year. They just aren't. Like, I'm sorry. You got the two losses that are pretty bad, and you're keeping it closer in games that you shouldn't be. BYU will probably destroy them just based on the transitive property. And as I was looking at the Iowa State thing, Kev, remember when at the beginning of the season when we were talking about Iowa State as a potential to win the Big 12? How
Yeah,
long ago does that feel, man? That
that
is a
was
different lifetime.
it was tough. I mean, yes, that was a long time ago for me and you, and that was, I believe, a 4-game losing streak for
Yep.
Iowa State separating because they did
That
look
being
good. I
said,
mean, yeah, but I was gonna say 2 things. Iowa State looked like a team that could have gone like, made a title push 10 years ago, but offenses are just too like, they have a solid defense, and they have an offense that can score 21 points. That's not enough to win today. The other thing, there was one last one you messed up on the, transitive property there, another common opponent. It's on the screen. So Cincinnati lost to Arizona 30-24. BYU beat them 33-27
oh,
in
I
double
missed
overtime.
Arizona. Well, no. I didn't mess it up. I missed it.
Sorry, yeah, I should have been more clear there. I do
You
wanna
should have.
look real quick because I kn Cincinnati, they lost on the road at Utah. They did
Right.
actually, I just answered my question because they lost to Arizona at home. I'm pretty sure I was trying to check if their Nebraska loss at the beginning of the season was home, away, or neutral.
Yeah, but I don't think they had. I don't think they both had Nebraska though, so it doesn't matter.
Well, so I was just kind of wondering how Cincinnati plays at home. That's actually I didn't
Yeah, they
realize.
lost 20-17.
Yeah, yeah, but it was at Arrowhead Stadium. That's interesting. So they've only
Oh yeah,
lost
that's
once at
right
home.
because
It
that was the
was
game
last
that
week.
Dylan Raiola. Yeah.
Yeah, it was last week, so that kinda defeats there was a part of me that's like, "Hey, maybe Cincinnati's undefeated at home, maybe they got a decent crowd advantage." The one other stat I'll, read off maybe while you reveal my pick, but, Cincinnati has an issue, with penalties per game. I believe they rank 69 point or sorry, they rank 100th plus in every penalties per play, penalties per game, penalty yards per game, penalty yards per penalty.
Hmm.
Um, so that's a tough one. It's gonna be tough for them to, to oh wow. Okay. So you do have after I said that, we're just going opposite here. I guess
Yeah, no, all of me is screaming to take the same thing you did.
and that's why you went the other way. So
Yep.
I gotta say,
Yep.
I texted you to change my pick. Did I switch it to the over? Was that, or
I
did I mean to
thought
switch
you
it to the
did.
under? You talk for a sec. I'm just gonna fact
Okay,
check
yeah,
here.
figure out if I got it wrong. Yeah, I like BYU to win this game by so much. It hurts Cincinnati, which is why I'm going to pick Cincinnati. And the one thing logically that I can find to back myself up on that is I think that Brandon Sorsby is just a better quarterback who's going to be able to find some way here to make a good play at Nippert Stadium there in Cincinnati and probably throw the Big 12 into turmoil. I want to see what it looks like because me personally, whether it's just what the vibe is that I've gotten watching BYU play this season and compare them to the other teams on the CFP rankings, I don't think they belong in the CFP. That's just me personally. I know that might be a little harsh, but I don't think they line up well with other teams that are ranked higher. And I think that there's room for other teams that are below them to make it in. So yeah, that's my take right there. Again, do I think it's going to hit? No. You see my confidence as I'm in debt right now with my gambling career. So who knows? But my official pick is Cincinnati. Lock it.
I will
Kev,
say,
was I? What did
um,
you pick for the under?
I did say to correct me to the under, but now that I know it's not gonna rain, I think let's just make things easy especially for when in 2 weeks I'm trying to come back and log our picks. But to for Tyler's mom out there, I
Yeah.
feel like you made some money a couple weeks ago, so I don't think you're too bad in the red.
I believe it or not, I've only lost the amount that was my initial deposit in week 0.
And I'm down about $80 over the last 6 years. So, we might look like
It could
idiots.
be worse.
We
Look,
might look like idiots,
moms, we're
but
being
we're at least
responsible.
also cowards. So we're
Yeah, look,
we're too much of
listen,
cowards to hurt ourselves too much. So, yeah, this is one where
folks,
I do feel kind of confident on my pick with BYU, but it's been one of those seasons where
I would.
an effigy burned in the face of consistency is what I've said. So,
That's right.
let's see.
And thank you to all you Big 12 viewers and fans who have watched us talk about this pick. Again, if you want to stick around to hear us talk about our parlays, please feel free to. But if you're ending with this video, thank you so much. Please feel free to like and subscribe. We've said that 3 times now, but like I said, I want to be able to keep this show going. So we're going to be going on to college ball as in b-ball once the football season is over, which is quickly approaching and it's so sad. But that being said, we want to do this with you guys. And also, if anybody out there wants to get in our March Madness pool that we do every year, you can also comment that as well. We want to make this a community driven event and we love you guys commenting on it. We love all the participation and we love hearing from you
Dude,
guys.
we
So please
love
like,
guest
subscribe.
pickers too. So if you
What's that?
we love guest pickers. So like
We
if
love guest pickers,
put it
and they're always better than us.
yeah,
They're
so
always better than us.
we'll take a shot on sending an email link to a random person who comments on YouTube and we'll let them join our show.
Yeah,
It's not live, so we
it's
can
gonna be
always just
it's gonna
delete
end
it.
horribly, but we'll
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah. We can always just
All right.
delete it later. But yeah, thank
Yeah.
you all.